My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome back to, if you're seeing this on New Light Streaming Love, this is the Knowledge Vault. If you're seeing this on Sassy She or Sheila, we are simply engaging in session number 35, Handbook for the New Paradigm, volumes 1, 2, and 3. We are in volume 2. And if you are following along with me, it is on page 229. And it begins. It is through the application of the law of allowance that mankind will make the final step into the role of the rainbow, quote, human. The archetype of the warrior that has influenced the shaping of mankind's experience shall at long last evolve into the ideal of the responsible cosmic citizen. It is perfectly possible to adventure in a role beyond the warrior. Only other warriors within the game of conflict welcome warriors. Those who have evolved beyond walking this dead-end path do not welcome conflict back into their experience. The freedom to move freely among those of more refined development allows for more rapid advancement. As within a maze, eventually it is necessary to face the wall at the end and accept it as the end and stay there, or to find the way back to the correct passageway. The new paradigm is a gift that will enable humanity to sageway. No, wait a minute. I'm sorry. That wasn't correct. The new paradigm is a gift that will enable humanity to rise above the maze, to see the true passageway and move quickly into it. This will not happen without the necessary consciousness change and the period of focus required through the chaos of the demise of the current mode of experience that is based on competition and conflict. The desire for the new experiencing mode must become a passion that exceeds the inclination to stay within what is familiar. Yeah, there's something trying to come in for me about that too. And I think it has to do with being open to the unknown, right? Well, it has to become a passion, apparently. The realization that something far better awaits at the closure of this experiencing mode must be real within the belief system and be strong enough to transcend the mass beliefs of not only millions, but billions. It is through the demonstration of the power of a combined human focus that blends with the wisdom of creation that each will know truth. It is not to be found in resistance to the situation that exists on this earth plane, but in joining with that which is truth, that which will bring forth what seems to require a miracle to accomplish. Personally, I feel as though what this is speaking to is not concentrating on what we're seeing happening out there, which may or may not be so, especially with AI and deep fakes and all that kind of stuff these days, but focusing on the new and bringing in what is desired, right? And there's a reason it's what you resist persists is an actual saying. Back to the book here, unimaginable power will be tapped in this process. It simply requires changing the focus of the combined minds of a percentage of mankind. It is not a majority. It is an amazingly small actual number of humans on Earth, comparatively speaking. For these will, oh, okay, hold on. What I just got about that is that those of us who are constantly looking at all of the, bad things, the evil things, and what are we going to do, and all of that sort of thing, right? First of all, that just continues to perpetuate that, is what I'm hearing this say. And what's being shown to me is that the more who simply turn away from that, seeing that, okay, that's what's happening, right? Again, not even sure if it really is. So I'm going to back that up. Unimaginable power will be tapped in this process. It simply requires changing the focus of the combined minds of a percentage of mankind. It is not a majority. It is an amazingly small actual number of humans on Earth, comparatively speaking. For these will blend with the flow that creates planets, stars, solar systems, galaxies, and more. The process is simple. The complication is that it requires standing and turning into the face of what has been taught for generation after generation by doing it within each individual consciousness. And here I want to point back to the Joshua channelings, because in that book, it states emphatically that light workers did not come here to wake everybody else up, to bring everybody else into anything. No, light workers are here to work on self, to get self straight. Everybody else will take care of everybody else, right? That's what I'm hearing this refer to again, because each light worker has had generation after generation of programming and conditioning within their own vessel, right? And this says the process is simple. The complication is that it requires standing and turning into the face of what has been taught for generation after generation by doing it within each individual consciousness. We have to confront our own programming and conditioning, which will be completely different from your brother, your sister, your spouse, your love, any kind of loved one, or any kind of stranger on the street. It's completely different and unique to each, which is why it has to be an inside job. Oh, yes. It does not require face-to-face confrontation with those that continue to teach these untruths. Most do this in sincerity. It is through one-to-one contacts with those that already feel discontent with available knowledge at the deep levels of their personal awareness that the mission is to be accomplished. There are more than enough that since they are swimming upstream and are ready and willing to rejoin the flow of creation. They wait only to know how to accomplish this change. The archetype of the rainbow human calls to all, for it is like a homing signal that perpetually sounds in the background of life, which explains why those who have reported to me that as they change their own perspective, that others seem very drawn to them and their light. It is like the dinner bell ringing in the distance to come home to share refreshment and rest with the family. In this case, humanity has wandered far from home and has some distance to cover, but it will arrive there sooner or later, and hopefully it will be sooner. The focus has been at the very personal level for each messenger, as each goes through the process of strengthening his or her understandings and resolve. Okay, very clearly that's what's been happening for me in the last year. It is not easy to commit to a project of this magnitude without establishing the intent firmly within the conscious mind. The mind and the feelings must be in harmony and balance in order that the resolve is of enough substance to hold firmly through the period of the shift in consciousness. That which is now new must have time to root and become the dominant viewpoint from which experiences are perceived and decisions made with discernment. An amazing number of life situations will suddenly take on new meanings. Habitual commitments that fit certain situations will no longer be appropriate, and there will be moments of wondering what is appropriate. There will be rethinking necessary, requiring a transition period. There will be many returns to the messages to contemplate new meanings that were missed when first read. Truth is perceived within the understanding of the moment and is constantly refreshed as different experiences are contemplated and decisions are necessary for the discernment needed to establish new patterns of belief and behavior. I've experienced this myself, meaning I feel each one of us get what we can understand. Sometimes it doesn't come in very clearly, but I have said many times, I have to go and revisit that with my new eyes. As a matter of fact, I had to revisit this book. Okay, I read this when I was 19, and again when I think I was like 22, 23, something like that. And when I saw that Elon Musk had named his AI chatbot Grok, I thought, oh, okay, I got to go back and reread this again. Oh my gosh. That's a subject for a different video, but that is what I feel is being discussed here. There is much to transcend in order that each may stand at the end of this chapter of the book of evolvement and contemplate not only a new chapter, but also a sequel. This will be done day by day and one mind changed at a time. The biggest single change is the willingness to read, contemplate, and find the personal truth within the guidance of these messages. Beyond that, the steps are small and continuously lead onward to the goal of living the new ideal or archetype moment by moment. When the new architecture is embedded within the mass consciousness, the new paradigm will be birthed into infancy, and the adventure will have begun in earnest. Then you may choose to walk hand in hand with your family again, for you will have returned home for sustenance and companionship, a worthy trade-off for giving up excessive competition, conflict, and isolation. That's the end of session number 35, and we'll begin next with session number 36. Please always move towards that which brings you joy in each moment. And I know that some think that we can't all do that, Sheila, but I think that we can, because no matter what presents itself, there's always more than one way to see, to move through, and to understand a thing. Until next time, be well, my friends.